Here are some bits and bobs that I've been loving during pregnancy. Most of them are inexpensive or free, so if you are pregnant, I highly recommend trying them out. So one of the big things that I've really loved during pregnancy is anything that's giving me information or knowledge about baby, about my body, about pregnancy as a whole, and how I can be taking better care of myself and how I can be preparing my mind, my body, and my space for our new arrival. This Mama Natural book has been an absolute favorite, both in my first pregnancy and in my second pregnancy. During my first pregnancy, I read this religiously. Every evening I would sit down, I'd do some stretches, and I'd read a chapter of the book. And I just think it's a really beautiful way of walking you through each part of your pregnancy week by week. The illustrations in here are really stunning and the language is very accessible and easy. I think there's something for everyone in here. So it gives you the biological and medical information. Granted, it is based on an American healthcare system, so not everything is completely relevant if you're in the UK, but at large, the concepts are very relatable and you can get specific information about your GP or how the NHS does things through their website. So I still found it super helpful. They've got some really good recommendations in here and some good recipes as well if you're into that. And I just thought it was just a good all-round guide to pregnancy. Something that I love about the book, it has this running theme of how to do pregnancy and prepare for birth in the most natural way possible. Granted, it's not for everyone, and I did definitely pick and choose the bits of information that I followed based on my lifestyle and my means, but there are some wonderful tips in here and things that you may not have even considered. And my only caveat is just to make sure that any advice in here that is medical is checked against what your midwife is telling you. One of my favorite pages is that it does include a checklist for a baby registry, and this was the first thing that I used when I was building up my own checklist for baby, and I thought it was really good. It's quite minimal, which is an approach that I was going for. I think that's quite a sustainable approach, and it prevents you overbuying, which is really easy to do when you're buying things for a new baby. But yeah, just all around, I think the information in here is fantastic. I would highly recommend this. I got this on Amazon. I remember it being relatively inexpensive, 10 or 20 pounds. And I've been able to use it for both pregnancies, so it was well worth the investment. Pregnancy apps. I love these first time around, and I love them just as much second time around, kind of following that same train of thought of just me generally enjoying knowing everything that's happening with my body and with baby. I love pregnancy apps. I have 4 that I've been using, which I know sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. They all have relatively different functions. So the Pregnancy Plus app is very cool. I just like the fact that it's showing a relatively realistic picture of baby, and I don't know, where I've been struggling to picture what it's like to have another baby or just wondering what they're doing or what they look like, it kind of itches that scratch. So yeah, I do enjoy this app. My husband thinks it's really weird, but whatever, I love it. There is the What to Expect When Expecting app. I think this is my favorite app because overall, firstly, the interface is lovely. I love the illustrations. I love the way it's displaying the information, and I love the way it breaks down information about my body, about baby's development, and it also summarizes it in a little video as well. So in general, I love this app. I think if I were to pick one, it would be this one. But the only downside is that it's from an American healthcare perspective, so some of the bits of information don't completely apply or relate. Then there's the Baby Centre app. This one is really good because it is based on the UK healthcare system and the NHS. So I love this because I know that the information I'm getting is very relevant for me and my antenatal care, which is ideal. The interface is also really lovely on this one. I like the way it does the size comparisons for how big baby is that week. And it's got really good information also for baby and for my body. So this is an all-round great app as well. The last app I use is the Ovia pregnancy app. And I primarily use this app because it has this really cute size comparison of how big babies' hands and feet are each week. Literally, that's the only thing I use the app for. But I just think it's really sweet to think that you can actually somehow tell relatively how big their hands and feet are. I just think it's really adorable. Definitely not for everyone. I think I'm just doing the most, but I think it's really cute. Vitamin E oil. So I have been using this to smother my hips, my belly, and my breasts to try and improve my skin's elasticity. That's one of the main benefits of vitamin E oil. It's very good for hydrating your skin and improving its elasticity. Granted, I know that stretch marks for the most part are said to be unavoidable, or you can't really control them with creams and lotions. I think they're largely hereditary actually, whether or not you get stretch marks, but I just like the idea of having an oil that's at least improving my skin's elasticity and helping it stretch, because it's got a lot of stretching to do. It's also very good for perineal massages. So if you don't know, a perineal massage is a vaginal massage that stretches and prepares your perineum for all that stretching it's going to need to do to help baby come out. And I found it really effective and helpful first time around, so I'm definitely giving it a go this time around as well. Vitamin E oil is great because it's a natural oil, so it's safe to use down there. And again, it's improving the elasticity of the skin and helping with that massaging process. I also had to jump in and add that I've also been absolutely loving this body oil by Aveeno, and I've basically finished it because of how good it is. Honestly, this stuff smells divine, and it's 98% naturally derived ingredients, so it feels nice and safe during pregnancy, which is good. Yes, Mel did make me do it. I saw this on her Instagram page and it was selling off the shelves, but this has been so good. It's very hydrating on my skin. I normally don't like using oils alone on my skin. I prefer a moisturizer because sometimes oils can feel a bit clammy, but this, I don't know what they put in it, but this is just like perfect. It just absorbs really nicely into my skin without feeling oily or sticky. So this is just generally good for overall skin moisture and hydration, which of course is really important when your skin is stretching. So I have been loving this. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I've also been using shea butter on my bump and using that to moisturize my body. I love this one from Bixie Pop. That's a black-owned British brand. Really gorgeous whipped shea butter that feels very light and very easy to use compared to maybe raw shea butter that's quite coarse and thick and can feel a bit heavy. So I particularly love this one, and I used a lot of shea butter first time around when I was pregnant, and I've been enjoying it this time. I just feel like it's good for my skin. My skin loves it, my hair loves it, and I use it on my little one as well. So yeah, it's been working well so far for me and I've been enjoying it. Bra extenders. Now these have been super handy, especially where my body's just been shifting and changing and at a pace that I kind of can't keep up with, or that I can't always anticipate. I found these bra extenders to be super handy to give my underwear just a bit of extra life while I'm getting measured and figuring out the kinds of underwear that I need. There have also been a few bits of underwear that I haven't wanted to buy new just yet because I'm not sure if my body's going to change again. Things like a strapless bra, for example. I've been using my old pre-pregnancy strapless bra, but it's been really good to have a couple of these just to give me a bit more room in the waistband where I can maybe feel a bit more pressure of the wires resting on my belly and it's a bit uncomfortable. I believe these are relatively inexpensive as well. I got these on Amazon, but you can also get them in lingerie stores. And they're just a great hack to give your underwear a little bit more lifespan. My belly band. So this was actually recommended to me by my midwife. She said that she noticed some weakness in my abdomen from my first pregnancy and that a belly band would be a really good way to add just some extra support to my abdominal muscles and help to lift the weight of baby a bit. So I bought this one by Medela and I've been really liking it. It's quite a light fabric, almost like a lycra or a similar fabric to tights, but it's just a bit thicker than that. And so it's gentle enough that it's comfortable for me to wear day in and day out, but it does just give me that extra bit of lift and support, and it holds the baby in ever so slightly, which I've been really enjoying. My water bottle. So I mentioned this in my first trimester recap. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to check that one out. But I have been extremely thirsty at points during my pregnancy, and in general in pregnancy, it's very important to stay as hydrated as possible. So I've loved this massive water bottle. Granted, it is kind of excessive. It's 2 liters, it's huge, but it's done a great job at keeping me well hydrated. And the times where I haven't been as thirsty, such as in my second and third trimester, I haven't been as thirsty as I was in my first trimester. It's still a really good reminder and motivation to keep drinking as much water as I can. My pregnancy pillow. So mine is very simple. I think I just got it from John Lewis. And it's not a massive one that takes up my whole bed. The main thing it does is that it separates my knees and my ankles, so it keeps my hips kind of in good alignment. And now that I'm in third trimester and I'm a bit bigger, I also prop it underneath my baby bump, and it does a good job of supporting the underside of my belly. So it's really, really great. I found that this has been one of the key things that's helped me not to have as many pelvic aches and pains this time around in pregnancy. So I have absolutely loved my pregnancy pillow. I also started using it very early on this time because I already had it. I started using it, I think, at the end of my first trimester, at the start of second trimester. So my bump was still very tiny, but I just loved the support that it was giving to my overall body, sleeping with a pillow between my knees and my ankles. I highly recommend getting one as soon as you can in pregnancy, just to make sleep that bit more enjoyable and comfortable. So those are the bits and bobs that I've been loving during this pregnancy. I've been trying to keep it kind of minimal, less is more. I don't want too many things. So it's been great to have things that I've been able to reuse from my first pregnancy, and also things that have been inexpensive and easy to get my hands on. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching, and hit the thumbs up if you did find this helpful. If you're new around here, then do consider subscribing to stick around for more videos like this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.